get lost in the rabbit hole. Connect every emotion, experience, adventure, struggle, pain, and achievement. Know the past, feel the future, and live this moment with Nisha Harale. Every Sunday on Niche Radio.
Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning into our third episode of Let's Get Lost in the Rabbit Hole with me, Nisha Harale, on Niche Radio. And in conversation with me today is the super talented Terence Lewis. Hi Terence, are you all set to get lost in the rabbit hole with me?
As long as you're the Alice.
Terence, you are a remarkable dancer, an outstanding personality, and yet so humble. Have you always been like this?
Well, I'm overwhelmed and, I don't know how to respond to compliments. But I just feel that dust you are and dust you shall return to. So all this pride that we just accumulate. It's not ours. All these designations, these material wealth, this social status, these are all acquired. Mm-hmm. They're not you, firstly. And they will all go with you. So, it doesn't make a difference. So it's too ephemeral for me in my world. So, taking pride on these things is really, not something that I indulge in. I don't think too much about my successes or any of my qualities. I don't give it too much importance, basically, So in my head, I'm not a celebrity. I'm not somebody, who has achieved anything. And I always feel, I still haven't reached my highest potential. So whatever people say or think, it is their version or their vision of me and not mine. So in my head, I still feel I'm very ordinary and boring.
God bless, you're so grounded and so sweet. Now I know why. There's so many people who talk about Terence Lewis with such, awe. And I'm also in awe of you. You're so grounded. Terence, in your life, you've been surrounded with, all these high energy activities, be it music, dancing, traveling, camera on your face, people surrounding you. How do you manage to find your silence?
That's a lovely question. So first is that I really, really love being alone. I enjoy that to the fullest because I always have known that even though I have this duality within me. I've always had that. So I love people. I love conversation. It kind of really, really excites me and it kind of really, really, stimulates me. And on the other hand, after I have done that bit of socializing or meeting or having an interesting, deep conversation, no matter what, how interesting, how stimulating, I eventually want my space where I can just process that, where I can just be with myself. I do not have to kind of, respond to anybody. I do not need to kind of, react to anybody. I just need to have silence. So I do that very, very, very beautifully with my own apartment. I traded that long ago, even with my parents moving out of the house. I said, you guys go and live in a better place. I'm going to continue staying in a church. So I grew up there. And when, things started happening better for all of us, for my family, we bought a better house. But, I said, no, I want to be here because it will allow me to be just alone. And I want to be alone. The fact that I can go out and, meet so many people, interact, understand their world, love their world, appreciate, all of that, and then come back home to complete silence. I'm alone, but not lonely, and I'm always available for company and, share a thought or a certain idea, but I have no time for gossip. I have no time for small talk.
There are a few things that we have in common. One is we don't read the newspaper.
Yeah.
We don't watch the TV or Netflix.
Yeah, I don't watch Netflix either. It's been 2 years.
Yeah, same here. We both love our spiritual insight and discussions on it.
Yeah.
And Salvador Dali.
Yeah. If you know anything about Salvador Dali, he came in the time of surrealism. Okay, when photography, when the first camera was invented, the people no longer wanted to see the real stuff because they could see that through a camera, through a photograph. And therefore, artists, they were out of jobs of, painting faces and painting scenery. Necessity is the mother of invention, right? So that's what gave birth to surrealism, where they took real images and they made it surreal.
I know for the fact that I can count on you to pinpoint on what's happening within us, around us, and also identifying the hate virus and how can one help put a stop to it in our own way?
Okay. It's very simple. One very important key factor, if you're getting disturbed or, very emotionally sensitive, it is very important to shut down all those channels. And that channel could be WhatsApp, messages that are coming in, or, groups where they discuss all these kind of things, or, checking social media where, unfollowing those pages. That I have unfollowed a lot of people during the lockdown. When I was not in lockdown, I was not even bothered about social media because I didn't have the time. But now that I'm making sure that, I am positively influenced. We can't run away from social media, but we need to use it in a very positive way. There are lots of pages that are very positive where you have to kind of find your tribe, because that's when you vibe. So you need to find people which are of a similar interest, who can inspire you, whom you can inspire. So that's very important, to unfollow certain people and follow certain pages of people. That's very important. Second is, like, many times the other day, jokingly sometimes, will send some gossip. And I always tell people, listen, I'm not interested in this. So you're basing your sense of who you are or your worth based on how good or bad the other person is,
Yeah.
So this kind of validation, which comes on the basis of a relative index of how good or bad somebody is this kind of feeling will remain very temporarily with you.
Yeah, true that. Just pulling people down or gossiping about people, just negative energy out there.
Yeah, so you end up feeling good for a short period of time. It doesn't shift anything within you. If somebody else's misery, somebody else's shame gives you a sense of self-worth, then that's a very, very poor way of living.
Correct. Yeah, that's true.
We need to find our worth without having to compare ourselves to anybody else.
Correct.
And definitely not comparing somebody's misfortune or somebody's scam or shame. No.
Right now there's chaos on the planet. Just to have this certain connection, you think a lot of us collectively have a lot to let go, give in terms of love and embrace love, and also have gratitude. Do you think that's lacking, that's missing?
As a human race, we really have been really, really exploitative. Look at the way we live and look at the way we treat each other. Even our love, we are very clever with our words. We call it love, but it's actually transaction. Very few people really, really love, kindness is definitely gone out. It's very selfish. It's all about us and the human race. And we don't care about the animals, the plants, the nature, everything that feeds us. It's literally like the hand that rocks the cradle. We are willing to kind of just say, sorry, we want to cut your hands off. So in a way, we have really lived very, very unconsciously, very, very abusively. And it shows, how we abuse, it gets seen, and our carelessness is seen. The way we have polluted the oceans, the way we polluted the atmosphere. In a way, it's also giving us time, the whole world. This is the first time in the history of mankind, after the floods, there's one thing, not the world wars, not the plague, but this is the one incident, that has really, really shut down an entire world and its economy. And it says a lot. And I think it has reached its breaking point in so many ways. Now, whether there are conspiracy theories about how it happened and whatever, sometimes nature might use evil to get rid of certain things. And the very evil that you use to destroy her, sometimes she can use a very evil, mind and a human body also to kind of do its job. So, it's karma in certain ways. At the same time, I also know that it's a very beautiful and benevolent universe. So it's giving you time to check your ways, to slow down a bit, to catch up. Because the universe also loves you. Don't forget that. There's a beauty about this universe. The universe is abundant and it has so much to give. But it also needs you to kind of evolve into a frequency which it can match and give you what you need. But for that, you need to, let go of your selfishness. You need to let go of, all that you're holding, thinking that it is yours. And the biggest joke, about all of these conspiracy theories is that no matter who is starting this and who did this, whether it's this country against that country and all that xenophobia that's going around, the point of the matter is whoever thinks that, it has man-made or whatever, this virus or whatever, let's not forget that at the end of the day, it is swiping away everybody. As a human race, we need to think together. People are connecting and talking to each other about how to deal with this crisis together. So in a way, humanity is getting connected. Otherwise, it was in a way isolated.
Terence, you're a person who follows your intuition.
Yeah.
My question to you is, do you always have that realizing point where to stop? Or do you have your own share of mistakes where you learn from and believe that there's always a divine plan and it's okay to go with the flow?
Okay. So honestly, as much as we all are intuitive, but we tend to not listen to it many times because that is not being told to us as a culture or even in school or any other way, right? We learn it the hard way. And then we realize there is a science to it, which we come to realize much later that there's a whole science to how and why sometimes you feel something in your gut or something in your heart tells you don't do this or do it. It guides you and you listen to it and you realize it's right. And sometimes your own fears are so overpowering that it kind of doesn't help you to go forward. So it has to be a combination of many things. There has to be that dialogue within yourself, like this fear of not doing it or this desire to do it. Where is it coming from? That discussion, that dialogue needs to be rationalized in some way. And sometimes when you cannot get the answer to rational thinking, just follow your intuition. Don't need to kind of always have logic or reasoning power. But most of the times we don't even question it. We just follow our desires or we follow our fears. Answering your question, and that question is, do I follow my intuition and have I always? No, I haven't always followed my intuition because sometimes I'm greedy. I'm so filled with lust. I'm so filled with desire that I am not willing to listen to something that's telling me take a step back. Is this really going to fulfill you? Or are you just being greedy and power hungry? And just because you can do it, you're using it, you're abusing it. So, that dialogue is sometimes I'm missing and not listening because I'm so habituated to certain things. And powerful people or people who have achieved things have to be very, very careful because, it's a drug. It is a feeling that, okay, I can do anything. I have made things happen. I have made things possible. And especially if you come from hard circumstances and moved up the ladder through sheer grit. So it kind of makes you sometimes feel you're invincible. And sometimes you've got to stop yourself and say, hey, just check yourself, okay? And if you have a great guru who blesses you with his blessing, nothing like it. Nothing like it. Who just gives his energy to you and who has you in mind.
Speaking on clarity and speaking about the position of a guru, I wanted to understand from you, your passion gives you self-satisfaction.
Correct.
A job gives you money but doesn't give you that satisfaction. How does an aspiring artist find that balance?
You may love to do certain things, but you may not be so fantastic at it that, or so competent in it that, you can make people pay you for it. That is one part. And there is another job that you have probably done because of your education and that pays your bills. Please respect the fact that you have your financial freedom because of this job, the access to have a financially good life. Because let's just face it. If you are thinking that, okay, no, but everybody's saying, live your passion, live your dream, bro, all of this, okay, with no practicality and pragmatism, it's like a Pied Piper and, you're going to fall off the hill. If you feel that art makes you happy, making music makes you happy, or DJing, do it as a hobby. Do it so that you can stay alive. Do it so it makes you feel happy.
True.
Okay, do whatever it takes to make you happy. Not everything that gives you happiness or that you may be passionate about will give you income because you need to be bloody good at it. Maybe certain people have been really, really, really feeling very unhappy about their job. And for them, it is just bringing them down. Then maybe, then you need to probably think. Because if it's going to affect you so mentally that it takes away your mental peace, then that's a different situation. But if you're good at your job, money is coming, there's no problem at work, your boss is nice to you, you are nice to the boss, or whatever.
Yeah. All of that, and you're still dancing and you're still following your hobby. Yeah.
And maybe you've reached boredom and ennui, then you need to be careful. But if you're having a toxic relation at work, then it doesn't matter whether you're passionate about that craft or not passionate, you need to make some firm decisions about changing that environment or changing that field.
Yeah, true that.
Let's put it clearly out there. That doesn't matter whether you're passionate or even you may be passionate about dance. But like, for example, I encountered certain people in my career where I was really looking forward to work with them. But when I met them and I realized how they function and work, I was like, I don't want to be in the same room as them. And I'm like, I'm okay if my passion is not fulfilled, in that space of my career. I rather not have this unhealthy experience. It has to be, we need to be very clear.
I remember very clearly, I can never forget that. It was a very touching moment for me that one day you sweetly invited me to witness the amazing dance acts put together by your students and team.
Yeah.
The choreography and performance was out of the world. It was like I was watching a movie, literally. Every step so brilliantly put together, synchronized so well, with different genres of music, with different styles. I had an amazing time. I just want to know right now, at this moment that we are at, where there's no on-ground activity, where there's no rehearsals continuous to get that act perfect, how are you virtually doing it?
I probably was the first one in India to put my classes online first, keep it 24 hours free, and continue to kind of do free classes step of the day in a small measure for people who just want to, take one step at a time and not be overwhelmed with a dance class. It's taken me a lot of hard work, and I will also give credit to my partner, which is Maruk Tumasia. We set this up 22 years ago, the Terence's professional training program in the Academy of Dance and Fitness. And I had never worked with any other choreographer. So I had no idea of how to run a company, how to run a business. So I had no business background either. So it was just, learning on the fly, learning on the job, and learning with your mistakes. And it took us a lot of while to stabilize the environment to make sure that, okay, now we can, sit back. At least I could sit back because I was now in that space in the last 10 years by the grace of God and because of the love of the people. My television career really, really made me super, financially stable. It was just my passion that I want to continue holding on to this institute simply because we have consolidated and put our sweat and blood to standardized processes and procedures which are missing in this country, especially for professionals. Like, how do you teach dance to somebody who doesn't know dance? So all of that put together innately and intuitively, consolidated into a book, into a system, so that all teachers would teach it in a certain way. And I had built this up, okay? Now why am I saying this is because all of that has crashed. And I had all of that information. But now we don't have an audience because, dance has become a luxury item now. I have to shift back my focus from professional training back to teaching masses. So it took me these 3 months was like my first 5 years of my life condensed work. So I worked like mad to put everything that I had built on ground, and it had taken me 5 to 10 years. I had to consolidate that in 3 months. I was sleeping only for 4 to 5 hours, and with this pandemic, I was on calls with no help. So we were editing, we were putting the structures to place, and it's a new system, it's a new world. On what platform? Is it Zoom or Facebook, specialized groups? How do we go about doing it? Should we build an app? Should we not build an app? What is the way forward? I have one choice: shut my own company down completely and give up. Or I can just say, okay, let me now re-understand what the market will need. True. The market, the people will definitely want to be happy. And they will need to do it online. They will need to get a class which is simple, which comes down to their level. True. And let's not focus on too much of the professional training program.
Terence, at this moment, there was one wish that was granted. What would that wish be?
I would really, really deeply, deeply want to connect with my guru and my spouse. I would love to have clarity and guidance.
Thank you, Terence, so much for joining me on Let's Get Lost in the Rabbit Hole. It was amazing to go through this journey with you. Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure taking a walk with you in the rabbit hole. Thank you so much. It was a real pleasure listening to you, talking to you, and sharing some insights. And let's keep the good energies coming.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
To all our listeners, thank you so much for joining us on Let's Get Lost in the Rabbit Hole.
Tune in again next Sunday at 10 a.m. Until then, have a great day. Enjoy this next track coming up from our artist D, and the track is called Bhagwati.